Welcome to Q&A, a segment where you ask and I answer. My name is Nayim and this is episode 3. I want to say thank you to Anthony for hitting the cash out, and thank you to the fleet that's been sharing the show and keeping this thing going in my absence. Because of y'all, we continue to go, grow, and soar. Y'all know it get heavy and it get hectic, and I just gotta go touch some grass and get some air and get some sun and recalibrate. But in my absence, we got a lot of questions that we got to catch up on. I think a lot of these questions are going to be very helpful, especially for those of y'all who are navigating entertainment, especially getting into your songwriting careers or already in your songwriting careers, wondering what to do. Today, let's talk about BMI, Spotify, the record labels, the independent artists, and how all of this is coming to a crash and burn. And 2024 is going to be very eventful, and we're going to be able to see who's who. But let's start out with BMI. So if you've been living under a rock and you don't know what BMI is, Patrick Starr, BMI is a performing rights organization just like ASCAP, CSAC, SOCAN, or whatever the performance rights organization is for the country you reside in. They collect the mechanicals and the performance royalties. So if your song's on TV, if your song's on Netflix, if your song's on a commercial, when you go and you perform and you register your performance so you can collect the money from the people who was in there depending on what songs that you performed and all of that. All the little tidbits of money, internet radio, commercials, anything, I think I already said commercials, but they collect all the extra money that doesn't come from whoever you uploaded your song to. So not just the direct royalties, like if they bought it or if they streamed it, but all the little extra monies that come. BMI and any of the other ones, they all do the same thing. What makes BMI so special, and why we're talking about them right now briefly, is because BMI, they always had this weird model to me where signing up for the songwriter portion, the composer, the author portion, free. You can sign up for free. But you had to pay for the second half of the publishing, and there's 2 parts to the publishing, and we don't have time to explain that here. You can go back to episode 2 of Q&A if you want to know all about that. You always had to pay $200 or something like that. It might be more, depending on what your situation is, or you had to be signed to somebody else if you wanted to collect 100%. So it's just always been that weird thing to me where it's just like, how is the front part free, but the other part you got to pay for? Why not just pay for both? So what they've been doing is they take 10% from their composers and their authors and their songwriters. Now they've increased their 10% take to 15%, so they've given themselves a 5% pay increase. A person would ask, why have they done that? Plain and simply put, because we don't BS around over here. They are a for-profit company. They've switched over to a for-profit model, and not only have they switched over to for-profit model, what that brings in is making sure that your shareholders and your investors are happy. So they're going to be taking money and be like, hey, look how much money that we've made, and look how much money we are able to generate from this company. The problem is, it's not your money. The problem is, you've done nothing to earn that money. You're stealing from your songwriters, and this is how people pay their bills. This is how people eat. This is how people take care of themselves. It's not like that really much anymore, because songwriting is pretty much, like I said, the new guard is coming in on how this business is supposed to be run and operated. But BMI is essentially stealing money from their artists to make other people that don't have nothing to do with it happy. The problem with this, the only thing I'm going to say about this, because this is going to tie into Spotify, going to tie into the label, going to tie into the artist, is that anything that you get for free, everything has a price. There's no such thing as free. When people signed up for them, and when they sign up for them, when you sign up for these organizations, you expect, an election, because they do have election where you can vote people in. You would expect a clear line of communication. You would expect for them to be transparent about their dealings and what they're doing. The issue that BMI is facing now, backlash from their members, is there was no warning. There was no nothing. They woke up one day and found out that they're going to be 5% more of the money that they created and they generated and they earned is being taken from them. The problem is, man, it's just like, when you sign up to be a part of these entities, because it's just like you don't have nowhere else to sign up. It's just like that's the other conundrum of this. It's like you don't have nowhere else to go. You pick this one, you pick that one. A lot of the lure, like I said, from their service was, hey, it's free for you to collect your royalties over here. And you think like, okay, it's free for me to at least get this part of my money. And if you get the other half of your money, cool or whatever. Or, you can always, if you have that little window, you'll be able to get that back pay. But like that setting people up to come in the door. A lot of people are over there because it was free, and then you relinquish that 10%, but in the long run, that's not worth it. I want to fall into this Spotify situation because the problem with Spotify right now, they're saying they're changing their royalty payout. These things all connect. Keep in mind, they're changing their royalty payout to your song has to get 1,000 streams before it actually starts to generate royalty revenue. Meaning people have to play your song 1,000 times before you actually get your money. And they're saying they are trying to eliminate the fake streams. They're trying to eliminate the play it a little bit and get that money. And a lot of people aren't getting enough money to generate enough money, if that makes sense. They're not getting enough streams to generate enough money for it to be any type of payout. So these 1/10 of a cent sit in this retroactive bank account with these streaming platforms, or their streaming platform in particular. The little bit of money that you do generate, the 1/2 of a penny that you get from the little bit of streams that you get, it just sits there, and it just sits there for eternity. They're now wanting to take all those little imaginary cents that sit there, and they want to take all that, put it all together, and give it to the mainstream artists, i.e. give it back to the record label. So essentially all independent artists are going to be paying record labels for their songs, and they're saying 1,000 streams in a year or 200 a month. The numbers, everybody playing with the number, but they are essentially saying that if you do not get enough streams, we're going to take whatever money that you did generate. Because what is 1,000 streams? $1, $3. We're going to take, I don't think it's $3. It's definitely not $3. Not on Spotify. 1,000 streams is 50 cents or something like that. Like, we're going to take that money, we're going to give it to Drake. We're going to give it to Taylor Swift. We're going to give it to Beyonce and Rihanna. We're going to pay it out to Universal Music Group. The issue with this is, one, that's directly stealing, just like with BMI. Two, the money that you might have a song that gets 200 streams, but then you might have 3 other songs that get 200 streams, and then another song that gets maybe 500 streams or something. And usually all that money gets piled up and sent directly to your distributor, and they pay you out that way, whatever your payout would be, because all streams are not created equal. There's streams based on the account. So if it's a premium or a free account, and they're saying they're going to take free accounts and they're going to make that royalty rate less. And then if it's, premium, whatever that is, by country, by how many users is in that country, it's all type of factors that go into how much the royalty rate is coming from a Spotify stream. The biggest issue with this is not only are they absolutely stealing, because it's stealing. It's no way around it. It's stealing, it's stealing, it's stealing. They robbing independent artists. Most of the market share, over 50% of the music industry is independent artists. People who are not signed to major labels, people who are out here doing their own thing, people who are, trying to come up. Another problem is, because there's just so many issues with this, is that now you're saying that people are going to have to use your service as a free service, which, again, now we're waterfalling down into the label. All of these things only benefit record labels. They do not benefit independent artists. If you have not got to a certain degree and a certain level in your career where hey, I'm going to get this is the amount of what I'm going to get when I have my own, when I put my song up. This is what I'm going to do. This is what's going to, I'm guaranteed this because I have my own thing going on. The record labels have successfully, and it's illegal, but they have successfully colluded with streaming platforms because they own the streaming platforms, because the streaming platforms pay out most of their money to these record labels because they want to license the music. So you come and you buy a subscription. You just happen to find other artists on your way, right? They've colluded with the performance rights organizations because, oh, I can raise, they can buy into them and have have stocks and all this stuff. They have shares is what I meant. They have shares in all of these companies and they own everything, and they box everybody out of the opportunities. And this is what I was going to say, that like celebrity doesn't really mean anything anymore. And for the longest time on this channel, I've been telling y'all that they have been monopolizing the music industry to the point that they want to box everybody out so they can have all the money for themselves. Why do you think it'd be cool until people start asking about the ownership? It'd be cool until people come out and start teaching. It'd be cool till somebody decides they don't want to be a part of whatever's going on with their label, or it's time to renew a contract, and people start going to jail, and people start getting in trouble, and people start doing all type of things, right? They want this industry to get to the point where you don't have no choice but to go through them if you want music success. And we are headed in that direction. But celebrity doesn't have the same weight that it used to have, because nobody cares about these people. Because you see right through them. They rats, they snakes, they not really that good. They've taken the music, and this is what I was talking about with the mixtape era. They have taken the music, diluted the music down to where it's so garbage that every other entity that has to do with the music is suffering. So the songwriter is not getting paid. The DSP is not having as much traffic, and so people ain't really coming over there for that. Independent artists is able to run wild. People are able to do, people are having success and not having to go to the label for anything at all. Everybody has access to everything that a major label has. There's independent labels that are coming up that have forged relationships with people that can get them to the point where they do have the access that major labels have. And then, artist development is not a thing anymore. So you have to already come prepackaged and pre-built just to have, a 2-month run at that. Nobody gets famous anymore. No, going viral is like being a pariah. It's like having an STD at this point, going viral, because there's no value in it anymore, because they cheapened it by diluting and destroying the products. This is where the independent artist comes in. I know a lot of people, chase wanting to be signed, and I know a lot of people chase industry fame, and they chase all of these things, but you got to ask yourself where the music industry is going right now. What are you going to benefit from it? Because I know for when I saw, even though I'm not a member of BMI and I'm not a member of ASCAP, I am a member of ASCAP, I'm not a member of BMI. When I saw that they're taking money from them, and then I saw that Spotify is saying you're not going to get anything until you get 1,000 streams, then that's when you can start making money. I already had in my mind, even though I've been building my infrastructure, I haven't been promoting it really heavy yet because I'm not finished, but I already have members of my website. People will already know where the rendezvous point is. I already got my own YouTube channel. I already got my own warehousing and all my own stuff. Like, I already have all my own stuff. So when this day was to come, I'm prepared for where the industry is going, because I'm not going to need to go and beg at the feet of a record label to get what I need to get out to people who want to support me and people who want to support what I'm doing. And this goes back into BMI stealing. Like, I'm telling you, this is a very vicious cycle how all this stuff goes. This goes back into them stealing, Spotify stealing, the label stealing. If you are able to have your own manufacturing, your own advertising, your own recording processes, you have your own distribution, you have your own stuff, you're owning your traffic. You don't have to worry about BMI stealing from you. I mean, that's definitely a problem, but BMI stealing from you, Spotify not paying you, because you know, hey, if you want to support me, you go to NayimEdwards.com. You can sign up for a membership or buy direct. And if you don't want to sign up for a membership, you still have the option to buy direct. These are the incentives of having the membership. These are the incentives of just buying direct. If you just want to support, you can do it that way. You would do something like that. We're coming to the age where all of this stuff, because I've always looked at all these things as tools. These things are not the end all be all. If you're waiting as a person who's just starting out, that's not signed to a label, that's not going to get no push, that has to do everything on your own, if you're waiting for somebody to notice you, dead. If you're waiting for somebody to do something for you, dead. You have to get out here and do it yourself. Like I said a long time ago, it's time to take it back to the street. And when I say take it back to the street, I mean take it back to actually going outside and touching people, actually going outside and meeting people, actually going outside and passing out your stuff, actually going to places where human is at. Because see, they want to push everybody into the metaverse, and they want to push everybody into the closet, essentially, so that when they put this mechanical beast together of diluting the music, diluting the thing, diluting the fans, diluting the supporters, diluting it, you're not going to have the patience for anybody that's just coming out and trying to go and trying to grow and develop. You're not going to have the patience for it. You're going to reject it. But you can, when people get out here, and you as an artist, especially as a songwriter, you have to, our parents and our grandparents, what they tell us, you have to teach people how to treat you. You have to be okay as a songwriter saying, hey, I don't work for free. Hey, my wife, my husband, my children, I cannot eat exposure. So you got to know when to hold, and you got to know when to fold. You got to know what's good, and you got to know what is not going to be beneficial to what you're doing. You can't allow people to suck all your time up and you don't put nothing into you, because a lot of people want to get in your face and talk to you about, hey, I'm going to put you up here, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But ain't no compensation coming into the play. Especially if we're talking about working with corporations, working with major labels, working with these people. I'm not singling nobody out. I'm a part of the problem, because I should have been up here earlier talking about this. We have conditioned this industry to think that it's okay to hit us on the back end. We don't really need no front end. We don't really need that. You get happy if you get somebody to give you something up front, or pay for your time, or pay for your work, and you just kind of sit around and wait. And you got to wait till the album to come out to see if you actually on the album. You got to wait until something actually happens to see if you're actually going to be a part of the process. We have conditioned these people to treat us like this, and we can't get people on the same page, because we have people that are willing to work for free, and we have people that are willing to take less and do less, but not in a take less, get more on the back end side. They're willing to work for free, work for nothing, work for pennies, and sell the rest of us out. So obviously, people who don't want to pay you in the first place, they're going to run over there and try to get with the people that's going to do the best work for the lesser cost. Good, fast, cheap is the triangle, and they want it, cheap, and they want it fast, and they don't really care if it's good or not. There's a lot of us out here who, you think that having your name next to a celebrity suffices for your compensation, for your respect. You don't feel good about any of that stuff. You walk around here empty. It doesn't make you happy. You didn't get nothing from it, but you got your name beside somebody that everybody know. We're moving into the model where you're going to have to do it on your own. You're going to have your own stuff. You're going to have to build your own stuff, because these people clearly, they have monopolized the situation to the point where the independent artists lose because the independent artist is winning right now. You do not need a label in today's day and age. There's people who, and I'm not against the label totally. I'm saying that there's a lot of us who you don't need it. You know everything you need to know, and if you can market and promote, you really don't need the damn label because you can make yourself hot. It's just a matter of one of the things you're gonna have to do when you get to that point of I know how to put myself out here. I know how to manage and own my traffic and do all of that. I'm a stern proponent of paying people who know stuff to teach you that stuff. I pay someone to teach me how to mix and master my own vocals so when projects come up, I can send my work already completed and not just send it and hope for the best because I don't like how people do my voice. I pay for the knowledge that I want. I pay for the things that I want. Do not let a price tag scare you away from doing the things that are going to make sure that your family can eat and you can survive and you can be happy. Do not let it deter you because I'll give you a reasonable price. Somebody say you can talk to me for $100 an hour. You might need to pay them $300 for 3 hours of their time, but that $300 is gonna make you millions. And maybe you might not make millions, but $300 can quickly turn into $3,000 if you talk to the right person. And not on no send it to my Venmo, send it to my cat. Like no, on some I learned something that shaved 6-7 years of practice and failure. This person took me from 6 years of what's it called when you what's the word when you it slipped away from me, but 6 years of doing it and failing and doing it and failing and doing it and failing to them telling you what happened in those 6 years of doing it and failing and how you can turn 6 years into 2 years. Don't be afraid of that. I believe I paid like $75 or something to learn how to, it might have been 100, I don't know. But I think I paid $75 for an engineer to sit with me 101 and teach me step by step what I need to do for my voice and my work. And that is the best money I ever spent in my life. Reading, fundamental, it's just all these type of things. And I know that this kind of stuff is boring, but these kind of things are essential for where the music business is going. Because you're not going to have a music career if you don't know how to get out here. You're not going to have a music career if you're not on top of your business. You're not going to have your music career if you're too prideful to talk to people that you don't want to pay for their time. And not even that, you're too prideful to talk to people that you're jealous of. Because you don't need to come in here if you're going to be on all that jealousy stuff. Because you'll be sitting on the sideline looking crazy while everybody else is running like Patrick and SpongeBob holding hands and you squivered in the window. It's just that simple. The music industry as we know it is dead. Everything is up for grabs. Grab what you can. Grab your folks and go. This is why the fleet is what the fleet is. And we will be launching our own thing over there separate from this. And it'll be the same stuff over here, but it'll be more stuff over there for those who want to actually invest in what we're doing over here. Why? Because I know where the music industry is going. You're not gonna, hey guys, will you please listen to my song? Can you play my song for 30 seconds, please? Can I have a crumb? Please give me a crumb. A crumb of streaming, please. Bro, all that begging is dead. The industry is not there anymore. It's over. And anybody that wants to keep you in the geriatrics phase of the music career is trying to hold you back. If they're not telling you what I'm telling you about getting to where you need to be and where we're going, because I've been told y'all we was going here. They're definitely setting you up for failure. So that's what I got for BMI and Spotify. and threw in the record labels and the independent artists is over. The old model is dead. They're stealing. They're running off with everything. We definitely need to unite and at least try to get our stuff back from these people who are stealing our stuff, because this game has just become so it's perverted in a very crazy and strange way. It's just very perverted, and everybody people can fake the funk if they want to, bro. The money is just not how it used to be. The business is not how it used to be. Things are not how they used to be. And things we're just in that transitional phase. I already told y'all multiple times that music change every, 10 to 15 years, and we're just in that transitional phase where we're going into every man for himself. You either gonna get out here and make something of yourself how it used to be. This is the great reset. You're gonna make something of yourself, or you're not gonna be anybody, and that's just it. So thank you for episode 3 of Q&A. I hope y'all made it to the end. Yeah. I'll holler at you.